So this is all about the project planner template, but the Google Sheets version of that template. So in this video, I'm only going to show you the differences between the Microsoft Excel version and the Google Sheets version. So you probably want to go look at the Excel version of the tutorial first. So assuming you've done that, let's take a peek at the Google Sheets version. So the differences in these spreadsheets. Let's go first to drop-downs. So this is very similar to the Excel version. There are a couple of positive differences in the Google Sheets version. So for example, one of the things I showed you in the Excel version is how you cannot have spaces in between items listed in your drop-down selections. Google Sheets doesn't have that restriction. So for example, right now I've entered another selection in the drop-down list for assignee. Let's go look at that drop-down list now. You'll see it recognizes brother, even though there's a space between sister and brother. What if I added an entry much further down, a lot of spaces in between these selections? And you'll see still Google Sheets doesn't care where you have those entries in the drop-down. So that's a nice positive feature. However, you still want to ensure that you've entered all of your drop-down selections before you enter your tasks, because Google Sheets also has the same challenge as Excel if you modify an entry. So right now, let's look at our tasks. You'll see we have sister is one of the selections here. If we go to drop-downs and we change sister to aunt, let's look at our entries now. First of all, you'll see if you hover, you're being told right away there's an invalid entry here. And it has a little red highlight there. If you look at the drop-down, you'll see aunt is available, sister is no longer there, but it did not dynamically refresh. So you still want to ensure that you take the time to set up all your drop-down selections the way you want them before you enter tasks. Otherwise, it's a lot of work to go back in and manually update all of those drop-downs. Let's go look at task entry. So an important difference in Google Sheets is that this table is not a dynamic table. It's been set up for you in advance with all of the drop-downs entered, and there are only 200 possible entries for tasks. And just like with the Excel version, you do not enter data into cells with a gray background. So column A and also column P. These fields are calculated for you. The rest of the behavior on this worksheet is the same as Excel. Let's look at timeline. So on the timeline worksheet, you still have in cell B3 an automatic start date. The start date is still calculated for you based on what you entered for task entry dates. However, you'll notice there is no scroll bar. Google Sheets does not have this feature. So the only way to navigate the calendar information here is by using the scroll increment. So remember, this is by days. So if you want to scroll a month from now, you can enter 25 or 30 days, a number like that, and hit enter. So this behavior is exactly like the Excel version. You just don't have the additional scroll bar, which makes it a little easier to navigate. And finally, the overview worksheet. So the two charts in Google Sheets are not pivot charts. And that also means they don't require refreshing, which is kind of nice. You still navigate the chart using filters. The filters are displayed a little bit differently in Google Sheets. You can either click on the little filter icon or you can click on all. Either one will show you all the entries. You can clear all the information. You can select all of the entries, or you can select individual entries. Just be certain to click OK after you make your selections. And you'll see the chart reflects that update. All 4 of the filters function in the same fashion. So there you have it. Those are the primary differences between the Microsoft Excel version and the Google Sheets version.